The crystalline halls of the Galactic Council's entertainment district pulsed with bioluminescent light as Zarthok the Mighty held court at the center of the crowded establishment. The Valkyrian hunter stood nearly 3 meters tall, his exoskeleton decorated with trophies from a dozen worlds. Around his thick neck hung teeth, claws, and preserved organs from creatures that would make most species flee in terror. And then, Zarthok boomed, his mandibles clicking with amusement. The Crinian Alpha charged at me with all 6 of its legs. Beautiful creature, really. Took its head clean off with one plasma bolt. The crowd of various alien species murmured appreciatively. Zarthok was famous across 3 spiral arms for his exploits hunting the most dangerous fauna in known space. His holovid series, Deathworld Trophies, had billions of subscribers. Alice Chen sat at the bar, nursing a drink that glowed faintly blue. The human woman looked unremarkable by galactic standards. Small, averaging 165 centimeters, with dark hair pulled back in a practical ponytail. Her companion, Carson Mitchell, stood beside her with his arms crossed, watching the hunter's performance with an expression that might have been amusement or disdain. "He's not wrong about the Crinians," Carson muttered. "Those things are nasty." Alice replied non-committally. Zarthok launched into another story, this one involving a pack of thermal stalkers from the volcanic moon of Pyraxis 7. His audience grew larger, drawn by his theatrical gestures and the holographic replays he projected from his wrist device. "Of course," the hunter continued, "the real prize is hunting on Deathworlds, Class 12 planets, where evolution has created the perfect killing machines. I've hunted on 14 Deathworlds across the galaxy." He paused for effect. 14? "Impressive," someone in the crowd whispered. Alice set down her drink with a soft clink. "Did any of them hunt you back?" The question cut through the ambient noise like a blade. Zarthok's 4 eyes swiveled toward the bar, focusing on the small human female. The crowd parted slightly, suddenly uncertain of the room's atmosphere. "Excuse me?" Zarthok's translator rendered his words with an edge of irritation. Alice turned on her bar stool, meeting his gaze with calm brown eyes. "You mentioned hunting on Deathworlds. I asked if any of the creatures you hunted ever turned the tables, if they hunted you back." Carson's lips twitched into the ghost of a smile. He'd seen this before. Zarthok's mandibles spread in what might have been a grin. "Little creature, do you understand what a Deathworld is? The prey I hunt are apex predators with natural weapons that could tear through most species like paper. Of course they fight back. That's what makes it sport." "That's not what I asked," Alice said pleasantly. She stood, revealing the subtle muscle definition that most aliens missed in human physiology. "Fighting back when cornered isn't the same as hunting. I asked if anything ever stalked you, tracked you, waited for you, made you the prey." The Valkyrian hunter drew himself up to his full height. "Are you suggesting that I, Zarthok the Mighty, could be prey?" "I'm suggesting," Alice said, walking closer, "that you don't actually know what it means to be hunted on a Deathworld. Because on a real Deathworld, the apex predator isn't the one with the biggest teeth." Zarthok clicked his mandibles dismissively. "And what would a human know of Deathworlds? Your species has been in space for barely a century." Carson snorted into his drink. Several aliens who recognized humanity's classification shifted uncomfortably. "Earth is a Class 12 Deathworld," Alice said quietly. "The same as your precious Pyraxis 7 or Crinia Prime. We evolved there. Every human you see carried that legacy in their DNA. Earth?" Zarthok's translator carried his skepticism. "That pleasant little garden world? I've seen the tourist videos." "Those pleasant gardens," Alice continued, her voice never rising above conversational level, "contain predators that have been evolving to kill for hundreds of millions of years. We have bears that can run faster than most galactic species and hit with 500 kilograms of force. We have cats, natural ambush predators that stalk their prey with such patience they'll wait hours for a single mistake. We have primates that hunt in coordinated packs using tools and strategy. We have sharks," Carson added helpfully, "that can smell a drop of blood from kilometers away and have been perfecting their killing techniques since before most star systems in this sector were born." Alice nodded. "And do you know what humanity's special trick is, Zarthok? We're persistence hunters. We don't need to be the fastest or the strongest. We just need to keep coming. We track our prey for days, weeks if necessary. We follow blood trails, broken branches, disturbed soil. We learn patterns. We anticipate movements, and we never ever stop. The bar had gone completely silent. Our ancestors hunted megafauna to extinction with nothing but stone-tipped spears and patience, Alice continued. We ran down prey until their hearts gave out from exhaustion. We trapped animals that were stronger, faster, and more naturally armed than we were, and we did it by being the better hunters. She stopped directly in front of Zarthok, who suddenly seemed less imposing despite his size advantage. So when you talk about hunting on Deathworlds, Alice said softly, remember that some of us don't hunt for sport or trophies. Some of us hunt because it's written into every cell of our bodies, because we're the descendants of the things that refuse to be prey. Zarthok stared at the human woman for a long moment. Then his mandibles clicked, a different pattern this time, his people's expression of respect. Perhaps, he said slowly, I have been fortunate in my choice of Deathworlds. Alice smiled, an expression that didn't quite reach her eyes in the way that made predators nervous across the galaxy. Perhaps you have. Carson left payment for their drinks on the bar as they turned to leave. As they reached the exit, Alice glanced back at the still silent crowd. Stay lucky, Hunter, she said. The humans disappeared into the station's corridors, leaving behind a room full of aliens, suddenly reconsidering humanity's place in the galactic hierarchy. Zarthok looked at his collection of trophies with new eyes, grateful that among them there were no human bones. He intended to keep it that way,